Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome back to the UKLC. My name is JK Praying Matthews and I'm joined by Dan Orcs Harrison for our first game of week 7, which is not XL versus Diabolus. It's actually Fnatic Rising taking on Barrage, as it magically changed behind me. A lot's on the line here for both of these teams. Barrage looking relegations in the eye, Fnatic looking at hopefully a spot at E Masters for them, but they're at the moment just looking towards playoffs.
For. Yeah,
you know.
I mean, as well as you've just seen XL have this performance, they just gained a ton of points from becoming the now Tower champions. You're no longer safely sitting in second. Fnatic have to play catch-up, so they need to come out with a win here, or they could very easily become the 4th seed. If they lose this game, then M&M will probably overtake them if they have a good run this week. XL already have overtaken them, so they need to win this one out. And then over on Barrage, they are in the position where it's very easy for them to go to relegations.
Yeah.
All it takes is one of the teams out of Bulldog and Darkspawn to get 2 points, and they are in relegations if they lose this one. So you want to come out strong, you want to have a good performance, and here's a crucial point, you know, this is actually the first time...
Battle of the Brothers.
Battle of the Brothers. This is the first time Prosper and Artorias have played against each other since I-55.
Wow, has it been that long?
It has been that long. That's how long it's
Jeez.
been since they have played against each other in a competitive setting. So, been a long time. They were talking about this, so I did get that stat direct from them. So if it's wrong, blame them. But they should know. But it's been a lot. You know, they've been teammates since then. But this is the first time since then they've faced each other on the Rift. So it should be a pretty hypey matchup. And both teams in very different positions in their standings, but they both have something to play for here. So I don't think either is just going to be like, you know, will you give this one to me, brother? No.
This is what's so exciting about the UKLC, actually, is that we've got all
It's
of
like
these...
we have brothers.
Well, it's first of all, we have brothers, but it's, you know, we're in the final week. And I don't think there's a single team who don't have something to play for at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, Diabolus maybe a little less so, but for them it was more a pride piece. And, you know, they want to remain at the top of the tower. It's like they were the only team to successfully hold their spot at the top of the tower. They unfortunately lost that last game.
And the thing is, as well, is that we have such a short turnaround before the weekend. We have Wednesday, Thursday is week 7. We have Friday off, and then we have Saturday is semi-finals, and Sunday is finals. So if you find out there's some glaring issue with your gameplay, you have 1 day off to sort it out, which is so small, such a small turnaround. So Dallas, I mean, they want to play their best, because if they lose like they did to XL, they want to learn why they lost and what they can do about it before they get to playoffs.
Exactly right. We are into picks and bans. Karthus going to be taken away by Barrage, who's starting up on that blue side. Fnatic Rising on the red. It's going to be the KO ban. Notorious played it last week to...
He played it.
He played it last week. It was okay.
Yeah, it did fall behind massively against Enclave, but that pick still threat. They know Artorias can pick it, so they get it off the table. We see the Yorick taken away by Shikari, for Shikari. So again, scared these big red side picks that can obviously pose a lot of threat. The counter pick Yorick can be huge. And then Silas being banned away, fairly standard for Fnatic Rising. Sura down. Haven't seen Lucian yet, so that could still get left open. Or Fnatic could ban it away. And then the big ones still on the card are things like that Galio, like that Jarvan that we saw teams put so much priority on in the last game.
And we see a lot of picks on the Galio, but we haven't really seen too many teams ban it away. They'd rather just either give it up or try to get their hands on it. Is there a reason for that? They feel like they can just play it in the lane.
It has matchups that are fine into it. There's things like the Silas which feel very, very difficult to play into. But the Galio, it's a strong pick, and the thing is, the real threat is that they take Galio Jarvan. So Barrage, you first pick this Jarvan. I expect to see Fnatic take the Galio away as a result. Yeah. Because otherwise you give over that strong combo. But it might be that Fnatic have a different direction to go into, because Braum is the other really strong support that has been played so much. It's like Galio and Braum, I feel like, are going to have the highest pick ban percentage of almost any supports in the league, just because we had it last game, we see the Braum coming out of this game, and I very much think that we'll see a Galio come out from Bartion, who's played it many times before. That does mean they will get a strong combo, so I have to assume Fnatic have a plan for this and something to deal with that, and they will go for that Olaf. So one of Dan's textbook picks, Karthus Olaf has probably been his 2 most played so far, so he has been given one of those, so a strength to go on. And Fnatic haven't revealed a ton about their composition so far. Yeah. Very limited picks here, and now it's over to Barrage to commit a bit more heavily into what they want for the composition. The Galio Jarvan combo is available. There's Lucian available for AD carry, because again, one concern for me is Lucian Braum is a big threat, and they will actually go for the Tristana there. So that Lucian Braum is potentially open if Fnatic want to take it.
One of my criticisms about Dan though has been he's very much like a farm heavy jungler, and you know we need to see him start to be more aggressive. Scudzy last week played the Nocturne, kind of also farmed a little bit, but that's what you do on Nocturne. And then at 6, he just pulled the trigger and he started going for the plays. So.
I think that's the thing is that on things like Karthus, you can understand them just looking for farm, but you want them to make more impact on this solo offering. We do see the Lissandra actually getting picked up by Cromel, so a big pick that a lot of priority is put on. And interestingly, the Galio and Lucian, which I've been talking so much about, they're just flying through and no one's even caring about them. So
yeah, just been left wide open here.
We'll see what Fnatic will take, and they take the Vayne, so this is a lot of threat to that front line of the Jar. And if you dive in on him, the Vayne can tumble out and also just absolutely shred. You can condemn you into your own Cataclysm. So a lot of big picks coming through already, and now it comes down to what they want to start banning away. There's still the flex of the Jarvan, so it wouldn't surprise me to start banning away picks in the support. So, you know, there's things like the Morgana is a possibility, the Galio is a possibility, the Alistair is already off the table. And then the other side for Barrage, maybe mid lane matchups that you don't want Cromel to have to deal with on this Lissandra. You know, we've seen things have a lot of success when we saw Krogston take powerful mages like the Orianna and the Cassiopeia, so maybe take them off the cards. The other option is to look at top laners for Shikari, but the Kennen is a big one that he likes to play, so maybe concerned about that and how threatening it is to your Tristana. But first going to take away the Zoe, which makes a lot of sense. That is a very powerful pick right now. It's
a weird one though, because we haven't really seen Magic Felix play the Zoe too much. I don't think he's played it at all, has he?
I think he might have once.
Yeah,
it's the sort of pick that you just have to respect, because you don't want to give it over in such an important game, because he would be devastating on it. We know Magic Felix is the sort of player who is very confident mechanically on all sorts of champions, so you do respect that. They take away the Cassiopeia and the Galio, so finally banning some things I was talking about. And now it goes with Fnatic Rising. They have the option of taking their mid lane or their top lane here. I would lean towards mid, because you're going to expect that Lissandra's on the side, but they could leave it later to round out the composition. It just comes down to what Magic Felix wants to play and what's going to provide him a good matchup. And he's going to go, it's a standard counter as Corki. You run that cleanse, it's very hard to pin you down, and you scale so well. And now, looking at Fnatic's composition, you have a team that the backline has so much sustained damage, and they have a pretty beefy frontline already. So if you don't find yourself killing the Vayne or the Corki in the late game, you're going to struggle from the side of Barrage. Now they have to say, what are we going to do from here? They're in a position where they don't know what the enemy top lane is going to be. So if they want to split push, it would have to be blind. And
that's a bit different. That's going to be a brand support.
That is very different.
It's actually quite a nice one. That's Bard, not Brand.
It's Brand, not Bard. You know, we have that.
I mean,
we've seen neither of them.
One of them's on fire and one of them's super chill. I'd argue if you're on fire, you're probably not that chill. You're probably quite stressed.
Crucially, Brand is on fire and Braum's from the Freylord, so maybe it's a counter in that regard.
I also feel like it's quite easy to land your skill shots because of the Unbreakable. It will just soak. You have like a larger hitbox to land the Q on for the stun, and then you can get the passive, the Blaze. Get that little ring around them.
As much as this is a wild pick, I'm actually liking the direction they went with the Vladimir and the Brand, because that is a lot of backline pressure. We talked about how this Corki and this Vayne are so hard to deal with as sustained damage. They've picked a composition to punish their backline, and by picking the Brand, they're going to have pressure bot lane. Crucially though, they picked the Vlad, they didn't give respect the fact Shikari could take the Ryze, and this is very much a Ryze-favored matchup, but the Vladimir can come out later on. I have seen instances where when the Ryze is disrespectful a bit, the Vlad can win the all-in because of the power of his ult.
I'm not going to lie though, I just want to skip through the first 10 minutes of this game. I just want to get to the team fights.
Yeah.
That's when this game's going to be really exciting. You've got the Pyroclasm from the Brand coming down, the Hemo Plague. You've got a Ryze just slinging spells out left, right, and center. You've got the Vayne and the Corki navigating the team fights. These fights are going to be nuts.
I feel so bad for the AD carries, because they're going to have such a difficult one to play, dealing with all this noise in the team fight, so much damage flying about. So the burden's really going to be on them to position well, because if you take one wrong step, you could be on the receiving end of so much damage. Yeah. Then one right step, and you could win the team fight for your team, because these AD carries, both of them hyper scaling, able to pump out a ton, and then you have the Corki as well on the side of Fnatic. So I mean, the Ryze on top of that, all three of those champions are very much, they can just pump out a ton of damage, and I actually think that we will see from, we're interested to see what build Shikari goes. Yeah. You see a lot of people go the Righteous Glory for the extra rundown, especially when you have so much damage already. It's nice to get the extra tankiness. The only thing is you're into a Vladimir, so the armor for the Righteous Glory.
Every time we get a damage Ryze so far, they've always had an outplay of some sort.
True.
You know,
I think most likely, if I was Shikari, I would go the Seraphs into the Morellonomicon because obviously it's a great item, but then it also cuts down the healing from the Vladimir. So I don't think we're going to see the sort of Righteous Glory speedy rise in this game.
Well, let's have a little look at our rosters. Barrage, Artorias, is Scudzy, Kramil, Jakamaka, and back to us apparently. And let's have a little look at Fnatic because I'm having a brain fart. Shikari, Dan, Magic Felix, Xmati, and Prosper. That was very quick.
Yeah, something announced is Fnatic Rising have got 2 more subs for their LEC sister team.
Yes.
With the potential to play with them in the playoffs. So all these players on Fnatic Rising, it's not only their spot in playoffs I want to secure. Well, they've got the spot in playoffs, but they're seeding.
Oh, Fnatic grouping up here. Jakamaka could be in for a little bit of trouble. Got a lot of CC, but looks like they're just going to step away for the moment.
Yeah, strong level 1. If that Rise lands a W, easy follow-up from the Brawn passive, so they will force Barrage completely out of the jungle.
Now, I believe we do have an interview with our tower winner from that last game, Inax from XL. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm good, thank you. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Thank you for asking. I mean, first of all, how's it feel to get yourself on top of that tower? It's been a while since you've been up there again.
I mean, yeah, unfortunately, we haven't really been on it since after the first week, I feel like. And the last 2 times we played against Diabos, we lost, obviously. So it felt quite good to win. And especially on Tristana, since it's one of my favorite champions. So not much to ask.
Yeah, that's fair. It was a really solid performance from you in particular. Oh, and he's gone.
I could not hit.
He's still here. We just.
Oh, yeah, really solid performance from you, Tristana. And do you think that we've seen quite a meta shift where AD carries have sort of gone back to more crit-oriented builds, or there's the big Blade of the Rune King, Ginsu spike, but we see a lot more hyper carries. Do you think that favors XL going into playoffs?
For sure, I think. I mean, I can play both. I can play early game and late game, but obviously, late game hyper carries just have more potential to carry since you have the insurance where if it goes past 3 items, you can always carry the game. So I quite like that, and I think it favors a lot of the highly mechanical AD carries in other leagues and UK as well. So I like it personally.
Now, focusing on the future, and by the future I mean tomorrow, who do you expect to ascend to the top of the tower? Who do you think you'll be facing and defending against?
I mean, on paper, Fnatic is supposed to be on the tower against us, but as you've seen from the last 7 weeks, it's not really like that. With Eminem taking wins, Diabolus taking a lot of wins, so you can't really tell. It's quite coin flip in a sense. So, I mean, I would like to play against Fnatic at the tower since we're already locked in into the playoffs, and at least this time after stomping lane, maybe we can win the game. So,
yeah, true, might well be able to. And I'll give you the last question. So, you did actually once qualify for EU Masters. I don't know if you remember, you won XL with me, but you didn't stay on the roster to play in it. And then you haven't had the opportunity to play in EU Masters since. So what would it mean to you to get that opportunity to play in EU Masters?
I mean, personally, I mean, it is a goal to go to EU Masters. I just want to show what I'm capable of and what the team's capable of. So getting to EU Masters is obviously one of our main goals, but to get high standing in EU Masters is also quite good, so I'm quite excited to get a chance to play if we do get to Masters.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, Inax, and good luck with your games tomorrow. And we'll hopefully speak to you soon.
See you, dude.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Alrighty, well, good stuff, really.
Yeah.
Nice to hear from him. And, it has been a while since XL were able to get themselves to the top of that tower, so for them to get themselves there in the final week, it's got to be a great boost for your mentality.
Absolutely, but it can't stop here because again, they're in a comfortable position right now, second on the bracket. But to secure that, they need to defend tomorrow, so they really want to be playing their hearts out and ensure that.
As you guys can see over on the Twitch chat right now, if you're using the hashtag BRG or the hashtag FNC to let us know who you think is going to win this game. Only 50-50. You guys are pretty tied. And then Fnatic fans show up.
If you don't know who's going to win, then just put hashtag TSM.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't actually have a TSM area in our little battery. Yeah, we're filling up.
You'll be able to feel like you accomplished something. It's like the fans at live events who always chant TSM when they're not even playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been to enough esports events to know that.
True, you have. You keep getting invited to them.
Let's have a little look at the mid lane at the moment, where Camille has got himself a slight CS deficit to Magic Felix. He's pulling ahead on that Corki. You did say it was a counter as the poll ends, and you guys are very much in favor of Fnatic, 60% to 40.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing with his lane is that Lissandra's a lane neutralizer. You pick her, even if the bad match, well, she doesn't really have the bad matchups, I think. Even if the things that would seem like difficult, like things like the LeBlanc, things that would seem to have a lot of pressure, you can just withstand them, and then you offer a ton in team fights. But the thing is, Corki's fine with that. He's fine just to have a neutralized lane because he's just going to farm up until he's so strong later on. And so that's why this matchup is seen as a counter. Ooh. And Magic Felix is just happy to farm away.
Well, Jakamaka is able to get himself that plate. Prospect tried to deny him by going in, but I mean,
this
is hard.
This is the issue, is that the Vayne Braum is very weak in the 2v2, especially when Tristana is going to have longer range. You have the poke from the Brand as well. So it's very difficult for these two champions to farm, especially when they're constantly being pushed in a tower. So Barrage have the advantage bot, and they're going to use that to translate it into an Infernal Dragon. And Dan's heading over, but I think this is going to be a risky contest. They take this so fast with the Brand passive as well.
Yeah, Dan doesn't have ulti as well, so it's going to be really hard to do it. Otieno does get slowed down, and now he's popped that Predator. Dan's running in. Axe comes in, flashes, still did away. The engage is coming in, and that's going to be first blood for X-Matty.
And just a huge play coming out from Dan. Takes a confident play, smites the Infernal Dragon and steals it, and then they manage to take out Bartiona, who flashed before he was at the pit wall. So yes, he got away from a bit of damage, but there's no way you're surviving. You're trapped in the pit.
Just flashed into a wall, guys.
Help.
Someone's playing fresh, right?
Yeah, a bit unfortunate there. A bit of a mistake from Barrage, and I think just overconfidence. I think maybe we should have moved Krumel down to ensure they got the Dragon in time, or at least zone Dan out. Because if Krumel was there, he could have just ulted Dan, and there's no way he could have contested that Infernal. And when it's such a big early objective, when you commit to it, you should commit completely.
All right, with that, Fnatic are able to get himself a 1,200 gold lead.
And Christy, we talked about the advantage in bot lane. You've now given a kill to this Vayne, and since Vayne builds lifesteal first, you've kind of neutralized a lot of the pressure from Barrage, especially since Bartiona now has no flash. You have to play very careful on this Brand, because if you overstep, you will be taken down.
All right, Scudzy picking himself up the Gromp and the blue buff. Gonna hand that blue over to Camille though, because he is a good jungler.
You love to see it.
Yeah, as a mid laner, it's quite refreshing to see a blue buff going over to the mid for once.
Wonder if we'll see Dan give over his blue buff to Magic Felix.
There was that week where I'm fairly certain he didn't give any buffs over. He just farmed.
That week? You mean 6 of them? No, but Magic Felix.
His argument would be the Q costs a lot of mana, man.
That's fair, you know. I can respect that.
I can't farm quicker.
I mean, he wants to get his farming Nirvana, and look at the difference. He's pretty much achieved it. The thing is, he steps out the jungle for 2 seconds, smites the dragon, gets an assist, and then he's just back to farming. So this is textbook what Dan wants to do, and he's actually managed to get a gold bounty already. So he's in a comfortable position.
He didn't even want the assist. He just wanted the CS number that the dragon is worth.
True.
That's all he wants.
Yeah, that's what he's playing.
Just the gold.
Dan is the #1 PvE player in the UK. That is a title I am very much committed to giving him.
Well done, Dan. As he's fighting what I like to call Mini Shen.
Just take out that Rift Herald again. Country no CS score. No complaints there.
It's a Scuttler, not a Herald.
Oh, I made a mistake.
That's a dicey mistake, man.
That is a dicey mistake. Oh, what is
Don't worry. I want to know what word I say a lot. Let us know in Twitch chat. What word do I say all the time? Because there's lots of them. But
yeah, what word or what is a thing that HitBrain does a lot?
Either let us know in Twitch chat or it will come up on the stream. So use that hashtag UKLC and tweet at us at LVPUK and say HitBrain uses this word all the time.
While these games may not be crucial in the long term, over the next 2 days we will prove that Fnatic Rising is in fact the best team in the UK.
Thank you.
No, I'm not 100% certain, but I believe that is the analyst for Fnatic Rising.
Maybe?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
If not, then I guess you've now got a job. You've now become the analyst.
What, just from a tweet?
Yeah. I mean, we always say Twitter analysts. I mean, did you not see in the LEC who won the predictions for the entire split? It was Twitter.
It was Twitter.
You know, if you like to tweet a lot and you think you know the game, then you might have a job as an analyst on team.
That's how it works. Is Magic Felix just jumps away to safety. He's got the teleport, not the cleanse.
I think that just shows complete confidence in the 2v2.
Yeah.
More able to get back to lane more comfortably, but you know, if you're not scared of Krumel going aggressive, then sure, take the TP.
I love that. When you get the orb, you lob it out and it just bounces around the place.
Yeah, Shikari not being able to apply too much pressure in this top side, able to shove the lane in, no doubt, but Artorias happy to farm up, and the thing is, this Vladimir getting to that level 9 point now, and we said that's when he is really in a good position. He has the short cooldown on his Q, and now Scudzy trying to step up, has to be a bit careful.
Artorias flashes in, throws down the Hemoplague, the steal comes down, Scudzy gets the dunk off, that's going to be the Ragnarok on, already 1 kill's been picked up, as it's Shikari who's securing it. Now Artorias tries to heal up for the moment, they throw out the prison to pin Magic Felix in place, but a double kill for Shikari. Camille's forced to run away, and Shikari comes up huge for Fnatic Rising.
Yeah, just a bit of a botched engage from Barrage, the coordination wasn't there, they couldn't find Shikari, and then they also lost out in the Rift Herald. So not only do they get that objective, but Fnatic get a handful of kills as well. And now this Rise very much looks to be in control of this matchup.
And Dan just passively picking assists up while he's just farming these objectives.
He's just walking around, he's just farming, and then he gets these assists for free. And he's like, guys, I don't want to fight, I want to farm. No, I think we are taking it a bit far. He did go for that objective, did pick it up, and has been the driving force for his team so far. Crucially, picking up the Infernal Dragon and the Herald and getting them into a position where they are, you know, 2,500 gold ahead.
You saw Scudzy just flashed out. He threw the Cataclysm down, Dan pressed Ragnarok, and then he was like, oh, I'm alone in a pit with a Screaming Viking. I don't want to be here.
Yeah, I feel like it was a bit of a botch player there, and oh, this is not good. The second Infernal, with a composition like Fnatic's, with this Vayne, with this Corki.
What is he? Oh my lord, Magic Felix is just destroying Scudzy here. Claw comes out and Magic Felix finds the kill. The Valkyrie to safety as well. Poor Scudzy.
Yeah, so much confidence in his damage there. Uses a package to close the gap and then still has a Valkyrie follow-up. And Magic Felix just knows the damage of this Corki and is able to burst out Scudzy, who hasn't really had a good game so far.
No, Scudzy's had a pretty poor showing, but Shikari now in the receiving end of a gank. He does just rip walk away to safety though. Realm Warp.
Realm Warp away safety, and you know, Krumel went for the play but wasn't able to CC him in time, and
that's
now
2 charges.
Yep. Fnatic gonna make use of this Rift Herald. Get that mid tower, and this now means Magic Felix is free to move about, and Krumel might be caught out.
Yeah, uses the Ice Claw to safety, so he's going to be okay for the moment, but
fortunately for Harry, that wasn't a kill.
Yeah.
Because he would have missed it.
Oh yeah, actually, we should probably feed you guys at home a little bit of information as we'll hold out for the moment, just see if Rift Herald goes down. Dan just popping that Predator, just stealing camps away. This is very rough. The Claw comes out. Shikari gets dunked in. Who's going to be turned around? They throw all of the CC out. That's going to be the shutdown, but Dan flashes in forward. Magic Felix now looking to follow up. 2 quick quills, but over for Dan. The Hemoplague to heal Artorias up. He's going to be able to walk away.
Yeah, they get 1 target, but then they commit so much damage to Shikari. Prosper, I don't think he dies here.
He's fine.
To survive, but getting poked up pretty heavily. A lot of burst potential on this brand. The thing is, right, they still had ult, both of them. I feel like if they both committed ults there, they would have got the kill. They just both had to press R, so maybe they're waiting to use it here on Mighty in this dive. No heal available on Mighty, but does have that flash.
Look at the shutdown as well.
That's a lot. They did get it, I believe they got a shutdown for Shikari there. So there is something. Did go over to Artorias, and that is the champion you want to be getting kills, is Vladimir. But Scudzy not having a good game right now, being constantly picked on by this Fnatic lineup, and just isn't in a good position on this job, and has gone the tanky build. I think that's good, because if you went damage and you were this far behind, you would be doomed. But really struggled. And Dan, miles ahead in farm and 2 kills up.
Now,
2 levels up, sorry.
To go back to our previous point, what we were talking about, we made a bit of a deal with our observer, Harry. As you guys may well know, he has missed a few kills here and there across the last few weeks in the UKLC.
The biggest understatement we'll do.
Dan has offered him £30 if he can go this entire week, including the playoffs and finals, if he doesn't miss a kill.
Yeah.
I said if he doesn't miss the setup as well, I will give him a further £10 on top of that. So £40 up for grabs.
If he just does his job.
You know it's bad when we're paying him.
Yeah. I mean... no, I mean, he does try.
We are threatening with DogChamp taking his job as well.
Yeah, he does try, but there's just sometimes where there are those crucial kills, I'm like, come on, man. We saw it was coming. We saw it was happening.
Oh, a lot of damage onto Magic Felix. He's got that Blaze on, but might just turn it around. The package might go bang for the kill when Magic Felix popped the potion. He's A-okay.
Not quite enough. That extra HP from that phase coming in big there. Jakamaka took so much damage trying to stack the bomb up, and one more auto would have done it. And the thing is, yeah, you know, he had heal. I feel like Jakamaka could have healed, gone for the extra auto, but I feel like that's a hard calculation to make. Maybe if he was able to get his scientific calculator out mid-play and just work it all out. But, you know, went for the play, didn't quite find Magic Felix, and he's able to get away without using any summoner spells, and simply TPs back to bot lane, and seeing pressure coming top.
Well, as we're approaching that 16-minute mark, the gold lead extends even more for Fnatic as the second turret goes down. Camille trying to base, does need to be careful. He knows that Dan's about, the Predator's above him. Throws out one. Dan does have that Ragnarok. They're pushing the wave in. The time for Camille to get out is running away as he's just going to force it out. Going to use the ulti on himself to try and stay alive. The knockup is in. Prospect joins into the fight. The tower dive is on as that's already one kill. Picked up on Camille. Scudzy jumps in. The Pyroclasm's on. The Blaze is doing a lot. Artorias jumps in with the Hemoplague. Now they're looking for the kill. They do actually get it turned around one more time as they're chasing in. Barziano flashes away. X-Matty is doing insane amount of damage. Does take the the Pillar of Flame to the face.
Yeah, and all for all, it's a 1-for-1. But remember, shutdowns on the side of Fnatic mean they do come out ahead. But crucially, third Infernal is spawning. Barrage cannot afford to give this one up. The difference here would be massive.
And Shikari is back into the fight with full HP. Do miss out on the Winter's Bite, but Shikari just zones away 3 members. They know how much he's capable of doing at this point. He's got that Oblivion Wand. His Archangels is fully stacked.
Yeah, he's in a really strong position right now, and this is not a good situation for Barrage because they have to force this Dragon, because they are so desperate for it. If a third goes over to Fnatic, I feel like they just lose out in any form of this game because of the scaling off it over, and it looks like they will back off. A triple Infernals, potentially going over to Fnatic. That is not a team I want to play against, especially when you look at the late game carries on their side. So they will secure that, and that is really looking dire for the late game of Barrage.
I mean, Rise, Corki, and a Vayne, all with triple Infernal. It is going to be dire. It's going to be dicey, Dan, for Barrage.
Dicey implies that there's a chance.
It's a loaded die.
Yeah, that's fair. No, there is still hope. They still do have Tristana and Vlad. They are massive late game carries. If they find backline access and manage to cut down the Corki, the Vayne, they could still come out ahead, but it's not looking good right now. Magic Felix just seems completely confident on this Corki. Now 40 CS ahead, but he is sitting on a big bounty. No flash, no cleanse.
I'd be feeling pretty confident as well if I was riding a flying Manatee with a Gatling gun strapped to its head.
Would you? You'd feel confident riding a flying Manatee.
That is the essence of confidence. Like, if you're in command of that, like, who's going to mess with you?
That's assuming you're always in command. You know, that's assuming that he won't be a rebellious. That's what happens to me. Whenever I die in Corki, it's because a Manatee was rebellious.
I actually don't know that skin. I know.
Bit of a disgrace.
I don't really play Corki.
I play a lot of Corki.
We had this conversation last week.
What's your go-to skin on Corki if you have to play him?
I quite like the Fnatic one, but do I have the Chinese New Year one?
Yeah, I do like Arcade. Firecracker.
It's really Arcade's cool. The one I use. Yes.
Arcade's cool, but Firecracker. Arcade's got all the different chromas, and they all look like different planes, so I just like to alternate between them, and it feels like I'm playing a different skin each time.
Well, Magic Felix just dodging away from the Ice Claw in case Camille decides to take that. Did have Dan hanging over the wings with Predator available. Got his Cleaver, got his Cinderhulk. He's pretty beefy at the moment on this Olaf.
Yeah, so let's take stock of the game and look at what Barrage need to do to get back in it. Because for Fnatic, they just need to keep doing what they're doing, essentially, and they've won this game. Barrage, they need to find an opportunity to punish the carries of Fnatic. There's still a situation when there's no cleanse on Magic Felix, no cleanse on Matty. If Kumel gets an ult and it's followed up by damage from Artorias, Jackmack, potentially Bartiono, they could kill one of the carries, and that's when things could turn in their favor. The issue is, the longer the game goes on, the harder that's going to be, because eventually Magic Felix... Oh, that was so... He missed that cannon. Felix and Maddie are going to start getting defensive items, and when that happens, it's going to get so much harder.
Yeah, I mean, one of these QSSs come through, it's like, who do you pick at that point? It's going to be so hard.
I mean, I guess the only options... I guess you can always do the Rise.
You could do the Rise, but I mean, with the shields he's going to have,
yeah,
he could even opt in for a QSS if he really feels that it is a massive threat. And then
not a good situation. I mean, he's got Mave Treads. I think he's pretty happy. I think it's just Barrage need to find a window where Fnatic overcommit, they punish the carries, and that's the way back from the game. Because remember, 850 gold on that Corki bounty. And he's already starting to build towards the no magic mantle. So he respects the threat from Barrage. He understands what their win condition is, and he started to build against it. But now, Barrage go aggressive.
They're trying for the fight. You see the Tides of Blood being channeled up by Artorias. Prospector jumps in, throws out the Glacial Fissure. The flashes are forced out, and Shikari now, with that phase rush, chases onto Artorias, but in the bot lane, or just off screen, sorry, Felix gets the kill. Was that... I need a replay. But
it was pretty off
a
screen.
replay, picture for picture, what happened.
But in fairness, those other things happen at the same time. So anyway, we are seeing a fight coming now.
Jackamaka's low. That's also going to be another one picked up as Magic Felix takes it. The Realm Warp is on. Fnatic are looking for the chase, and 5 members delivered in. A 5-man Hemo play by Artorias will not heal him for long. And Magic Felix gets a triple kill on the Corki.
Yeah, and it just seems to be going completely in the favor of Fnatic. Triple Infernal team. They will melt this Baron down, and they are completely in control, and they are showing they are here to play.
Do you want to see a quick Baron? This is going to be a bloody quick Baron.
Yeah. I think the only one that would be quicker would be like Triple Mountain.
Oh, Claw on. Camille gets stunned up. He's got that ultimate available, uses it on himself. X-Manage Shikari, okay. Magic Felix is godlike with his 4th kill of the extended fight, and Camille goes down. Shikari gets the kill, and Fnatic just go back to business. It's back to Baron, baby.
They did slow it down, though, but it's going down so fast to get it. A heal back to full, and it just dies instantly. It's gone. Barrage, nothing they can do in this situation. And the Baron and a ton of kills go over to Fnatic, and they just look completely in control. I mean, look at that Corki scoreline. He's going to recall, and let's just see what he buys. A rapid-fire cannon.
Just flat.
Just a whole rapid-fire cannon. That is a big buy, and that is now a very, very, very scary Corki. Just one big auto. If one auto is probably going to do, like, easily 60% of their HP.
And he's got that New Magic Mantle as well, so that's probably his QSS coming up.
Yeah, it will probably come after. But right now, I mean, he has a package as well. You got to feel so confident here. Just to level 15. By far the highest level in the game. Too clear of anyone else. So Magic Felix, he is coming with something to prove. And crucially, there were 2 subs added to Fnatic Horizons roster. One of them was a sub in the mid lane.
Yep.
So maybe he has something to prove here. Doesn't want to lose his spot. But after this game, I don't think he's in any risk of that.
I mean, he is just going in for Jackamaka. Still has that package, so he is ultra confident right now. He's taken down that turret, and now he's continuing the siege here with this cannon, but actually just switching away for the moment. Artorias going to try and clear that out. X-Maddie and Dan working away at the top lane tier 2. 23 minutes on the clock, and Fnatic looking to try and return to form as the tower goes down. The Valkyrie is used to give Magic Felix safety.
And just the 3-lane pressure, so hard to deal with. Baron minions in all lanes. Barrage's only hope is to look for an engage in one of them, but it does seem so dire, because if it doesn't go favorably, the game's over.
Really do or die here for Barrage, and this spells disaster for this team. It means they will be ending the UKLC with 1 point.
2 points.
2 points. 2 points, sorry. Which does mean Darkspawn
and Bulldogs could overtake them.
Yes.
If they win later today. So not guaranteed to go to relegations for Barrage, but it would be out of their hands, which is not the position you want to be in.
Rough showing for them as Shikari's pushing away in this bot lane.
Oh, that crit on a Jackamaka.
Oh, it hurts, and Bartiono's low. Pillar of Flame is on. He's got the Blaze passive up for the moment. Just takes away a little bit of HP. Inhibitor will go down.
Like
Fnatic take the next one. The 1-3-1 doing absolute wonders here for Fnatic. They might just look to close this out.
I like
right
how
here.
Barciono lands 3 abilities and procs his passive and does less damage than 1 auto.
Oh, what?
That's a lot of damage. 1 auto from Magic Felix.
That's going to go in for the engage. The knock-up lands. They've got the Blaze on. Magic Felix jumps in, gets himself the clear up for the moment. Goes golden here. Camille trying to buy time. Throws out one last Q as his dying breath. The tower will fall in the meantime. Magic Felix been forced to base, but he's teleporting back into the fray. Barrage have to pull a miracle right here. The Predator's on.
A miracle.
The health bars are low. Artorias has that Hemo Plague. He's going to throw it down, but he's already picked up as they are just ripping through members. The tower goes down. The Nexus next to follow Fnatic. Close out the game in 24 minutes.
Just what a one-sided game, and Fnatic show they are here to play. They want to secure a better standing for the seeding in playoffs, and they want to go into playoffs strong. That was just dominating. I mean, especially Dan had a great early game, stealing that dragon, made a lot of impact on the map despite keeping his farm really relevant. But then Magifelix and that Corki just seemed untouchable.
I mean, Fnatic just saw XL get on top of that tower, overtake them in the points. They don't want any of that. They want to remain second. Because remember, if Diabolus win the whole tournament, and win finals included, the next EU Masters spot is given over to the team who has second place. So getting second place, it can at least potentially guarantee you a spot at EU Masters, even if you don't make it through the finals. But our MVP for that game is Magifelix. I mean, no surprises there, really. I mean, what a game coming out of this guy.
What a performance on that Corki, just absolutely dominated. Oh, that's actually really sad. Didn't quite hit the 10 CS per minute. I think because he had to back off and then TP back in, he would have got it otherwise. So unfortunate, but you did your best. But I mean, that just looked like a very strong Fnatic there. And crucially, the big thing is the difference between second place and third going into playoffs is side selection in that game one. So although it doesn't change your opponent because second team plays third team plays second, whether you're in either spot, you play the same team, side selection would be crucial. So Fnatic and XL and M&M will be absolutely gunning to get that second spot, secure the side selection, and also mean they're not going up against Diabolus, who, I mean, before today, I would have said they look like the strongest team. Today, few question marks being thrown at them, but they're still looking very strong, even when they're up against XL and lost. Yeah, definitely. But I mean, we have to look at who else is in the running here for playoffs. You've got M&M, they're up next as well. So we've seen all of our playoff teams in the first 3 games of the day. And so far, XL have looked fantastic. They've looked back to form. Fnatic, it's hard to call because they were versus a team like Barrage, but Barrage, you know, had a decent middle area of the tournament where they made it out a couple of times. And then you look at you look at M&M. We need to see how they're going to be performing. But we're going to cut to a quick break, and when we are back, it is going to be Darkspawn Gaming taking on M&M. So don't go anywhere. See you in a bit.